What's going on? It's Fist bringing it straight from my heart for me to you, because that's what I do. If you come over from the Fist to Cuffs channel and you're ready for another delightful game of that Mosa Sagat, I don't know what it is. It's Russian. I kind of like this map, and I kind of like these one-shot weapons in Call of Duty 2. I find it, I enjoy it. And obviously there's a lot of bad things. You're coming over from Fisticuffs channel, and we're going to continue our discussion. I thought I'd just show you a different gameplay, and we have time to sit down and talk about, how I could be a little bit more non-PC on this channel. The reason I'm doing these videos, and I want to be crystal clear on this, is because, YouTube and Machinima and Activision, a lot of their techniques led to the demise of Call of Duty. And now we're seeing even a bigger problem. If you listen to quarterly two reports from Activision where they do their quarterly earnings, they say the very first thing in the couple of their sentence is like, who you align yourself with is who and how this game will grow. Basically saying, if you line yourself with good people in the community of Call of Duty that really like this game, then the game will truly grow. It was a true statement from them. And then on the other hand, you have a bunch of people being invited out to this reveal from Activision after this quarterly report from their own earnings statement, and all the people they are inviting out there are just people who their end game is to post videos and to write commentaries in their gaming blogs about how great Ghost is going to be on the Xbox One. None of them go there with constructive criticisms based on previous Call of Duties to say, hey, look, are these things that have been in Call of Duty for the last 7 games, are they going to be fixed? I mean, not once in the history of all Call of Duties has sniper rifles or one-shot weapons like this, basically sniper rifles, been addressed. Like, it's been okay to have this in there. I don't think there's been ever a standalone game that's done over 250,000 or even close to 500,000 in units, a standalone sniper game. So I don't know why it's in the Call of Duty game at all when it represents nobody in the community. So this vision that Activision is claiming in their earnings report, they do the total opposite of what they're saying. They align themselves with people who their end games is to get paid. And then they align themselves with, league play, which is totally being taken advantage by Major League Gaming by funneling it down and having kids fight for crumbs and pro points. And so you could, because we all know, you class a kid saying that he's pro means everything over the next kid. And it's embarrassing that, the focus is outside of the game now. And that's why I'm doing these videos. That's why when you see the series and you wonder, as a developer, as a publisher, that the publisher and the CEOs don't come together to talk to the developers, or the development teams from Treyarch and Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Neversoft never sit down to brainstorm like the head guys or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is my vision, let me show off. It's like constantly everybody doing their own thing within the series, and it's tearing the game apart and taking the basic foundation of this game and ruining it, which it could be a lot better. And this series of videos that I'm showing you from every Call of Duty shows you all the things that have not been fixed. Seven games later, I don't see how you can use this as an excuse and say something like, well, we only had 8 months to fix the game. We only have 8 months to change the game and to sell it to the public to make money, and to have them interested in it. Whereas the majority of your population, after 7 generations of your game, the reason why you're down 2 million in units is because you've gotten to the point where you don't even listen to nobody. I mean, they go on this wild tangents Like if you look at Call of Duty 2, and there's some great things in the game that now that we're in Black Ops 2 have totally gone backwards. For one, you can obviously there's great sound in this game. The one thing that I've noticed that has never been fixed is the fact that games change over time, and when your game changes and the public perception of the game changes, then you need to change with it too, or with the technology of the game, it needs to change with it too as well. And some of the things that I've noticed is like one of the big things that I've noticed that is in Call of Duty 2 that hasn't changed since day one out of 7th generation is the fact that footsteps are louder than gunfire. Now, Black Ops 2 is the very first game out of all of the Call of Duties that's finally gotten it right. Now, it's sad that Infinity Ward actually reverted back and went to SITREP Pro. I mean, obviously, if you're shooting an AK-47 or whatever loud caliber rifle, that you're not going to hear somebody's rustling around in the bushes. And the fact that people have to creep walk in this game is amazing, because that is exactly this game, sound-wise, is exactly like Modern Warfare 3. So in 6 versions, they still haven't gotten that right yet. And the fact that in Call of Duty 2, one-shot sniper kills still haven't changed. Still haven't changed, and it's gotten worse to the fact that now what they've taken away from the Call of Duty 2 game is that you can't go from standing to prone. I mean, when you get locked into the vortex of a sniper, which is between 5 and 10 frames of ADSing, that's less than 0.3 seconds. That's something like, I don't know, like 0.2 or less, 0.2 seconds. Your hand to your brain synapses to your hand, and the 2 millisecond, if you have that with the monitor that you're using, response time isn't even that fast. So there's no way that you can even react to a sniper quick scoping, drag scoping you, and that still hasn't changed. It's been 7 games later, but yet your units are going down. Here's the problem that we're having, and the reason that I'm doing this videos is it's not console consolidation. It's not people moving from one console to another. It's the fact that Microsoft gave you this opportunity and you still haven't listened to the community. And eventually Microsoft will give somebody else the opportunity as well. We're looking at a game that's going backwards in time. Some of the great fundamentals in this game, going to prone instantaneously to get out of a sniper vortex and being able to move on your stomach to take on multiple targets that are shooting at you standing up. This is in the very first Call of Duty from 2005. It's almost 10 years later. I mean, give or take 2 years. I mean, now 8 years later, and they've taken that out. And they've taken out, when you take out one thing to counterbalance something else, then it makes the game even worse. Those were balances in the game that developers don't realize and that they've taken out. I think that Call of Duty 2 was basically, if you think about this game today, it wouldn't do nothing. It would sell nothing. It was the fact that it got locked down with Microsoft, and because of Microsoft's release in November of 2005, that's why they sold that many copies. You could have bought this with or without the system. I do think there are some beneficial pros to this game that you could build onto. And like I said, it was the fluidity, the situational awareness of the sound, the particles of the snow, the fact that the responsiveness between the controller and the screen. And it was the fact that they picked the engine that they picked, the ID3, and they used it to the Infinity Ward 2.0 at the time. And look at the fact that I can go down and reload and come back up all in one motion was more power to the controller. So those are the differences now. We're going to go and see Call of Duty 3 tomorrow, and we'll compare Call of Duty 3 with Call of Duty 2 tomorrow, and then we'll keep going forward in time as well. Now get the fuck out of here.